Welcome back to Day One Voiceover. My name is Robert Vienna, and this channel is documenting my journey into a new career into the voiceover business. Now, it's actually been a few weeks since I recorded my last video, and there's a very purposeful reason for that. I feel like my last few videos have had a little bit of a negative tone, kind of a down tone, and for good reason. Things haven't been going well. Things have been tough, and I said that I would document the tough times, and that was me doing that. But there have been some really great things that have happened here recently, and that's why I wanted to sit down again and record my next video with a nice positive message and talk about some good things. So first and foremost, what I wanted to highlight is the fact that I've been getting some really fantastic comments on my channel. Some of you guys have been really encouraging. Some of the guys that I've gotten to know have been really encouraging as well. Thank you so much for that. But you guys have been telling me things like, I've been doing this for a while and it's tough to get going. You're just in the beginning stages. It's understandable. It's expected. And I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for those comments. Because it wasn't just one, it was a handful over the last few weeks. And they started to pile up, and it made me realize that you're absolutely right. I really need to keep my chin up. I need to keep going forward, and I need to do what I can to get this going. So that's been really great, because outside of this channel, things have still been tough. I still haven't found a job. As you guys know, I've been looking for a job for a while. I feel like I'm on the cusp of getting something, though. So I don't want to announce anything quite yet and jinx it, but I feel like I have some things in the works. And hopefully they pull through, because not having a job has limited me with those pay-to-play sites that I mentioned. The Voices.com, Voice123, they're all pay-to-play sites, and they're not exactly cheap. So I've been holding back on that. I'm gonna maybe put them on my credit card, maybe put one of the sites on my credit card, but I've been trying to avoid doing that. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So that's what I wanted to start off the video with, first and foremost. I can't thank you guys enough, because you've genuinely helped me. Some of you have told me that I've helped you in just simply putting my experience out there, and it's encouraged you. Well, I just wanted to say you've returned the favor right back to me, and you've kept me going through this. So thank you very much for that. And the second reason, as you saw by the title of the video, I landed my first audiobook job, my first audiobook gig, and I'm super happy about that. Now, the interesting thing is that I didn't land it the traditional way. I didn't get it through ACX, which is a very common platform for beginner voice artists to get voiceover work for audiobooks. Didn't do it there. Certainly didn't do it on Fiverr, on Voices, on Voice123, or any of that. I did it through my YouTube page. Thank you very much. You know who you are, who you reached out to me and said that you work with someone that is putting out an audiobook, first-time author, and they're looking for someone to voice it. And you reached out to me. I submitted my 15-minute sample, and so far things are going well. And I'm so incredibly excited about that, because one thing that I might have mentioned before is that I've never been much of a reader. And I think I've mentioned in the past that I've always been nervous about going into audiobooks, because for someone that's never been much of a reader, how am I going to sit there for hours on end doing something that I'm not comfortable with and record and perform and then hopefully get paid for? Just didn't seem like the right thing. But I had to give it a shot, and I'm glad I did, because it's turning out fantastic. Now, one of the cool things about it is that it's in Spanish, and I can speak fluent Spanish, but I've never really had the need to read a ton of Spanish. And not only is it reading Spanish, but a lot of it is pretty technical, words I've never seen or heard of before. Just to put it out there, because if you're a beginner artist, you've probably experienced this as well. I did the Google thing, and I typed the word into Google and said, how do you pronounce this in Spanish? But you know what? You do what you have to do. As long as the end product is professional, then the means don't matter. Just get there and deliver something great. So obviously, I'm not an expert by any means. This is my very first one. But for anyone that might be watching this, I want to at least tell you what I've experienced so far. So for one, it's the fact that a lot of words I can't quite pronounce. But in addition to that, it's a lot of talking. And after recording that 15-minute check-in, my voice was pretty sore. My throat was pretty sore for the next day or two because it took me like an hour to record those first 15 minutes. So I say that because if you are a beginner voiceover artist, maybe you are a few steps behind me or right alongside me, maybe you haven't experienced it yet. And yeah, they say it's the marathon of voiceover. And boy, are they absolutely dead on with that. It absolutely is the marathon of voiceover. Because everything I've done till now, maybe I spent 15 minutes in the booth total. Well, this is an hour to record 15 minutes worth, period. Then there's the editing and all that stuff after. And so I want to quickly jump to a video from Voiceover Angela. If you don't know who Voiceover Angela is on YouTube, absolutely seek her out, subscribe to her channel. She's wonderful. I think she calls herself the mother of voiceover. She kind of has that motherly appeal that's become kind of her thing, which is really great. But there's a video out there that she has a short that explains what a 15-minute check-in is. So here you go. This is Voiceover Angela talking about it.
But the 15-minute checkpoint it doesn't literally have to be 15 minutes. It's just the first section of the book, not the opening credits. It's usually like the intro, chapter 1, whatever larger piece of the book is available to you to narrate. And the purpose of that is to submit that to the author, and then they can review it and see if you are going or performing at the right pace, tone, character voices. If there's anything that they want to change, that would be the point in which to change it before you complete the remainder of the book. So that is the purpose of the 15-minute checkpoint, is to make sure that you are, you and the author are on the same page on how they want their audiobook produced. So, and then once that's approved, then you just finish the remainder of the book in the same fashion, same tone, same character voices, so on and so forth.
So there you go. And that's exactly what I did. I recorded what was about 14 minutes and 30-ish seconds of audio, knowing that some of that would be trimmed down. And it ended up being about 10 minutes of completed audio. And it ended up being the first chapter, which is what Voiceover Angela says. And right now I'm at the stage where I submitted that 15-minute check-in to the author, and I'm waiting to hear some feedback on that to make sure the pace and the tone is what she expects from it. But you know what? I'm realizing that I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. I don't know that I necessarily want to corner the market in audiobooks, because it is it is a lot of work. But I think I'm okay tackling a few more from here just to get the experience and see how it ends up going. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm happy to share that experience with you and maybe give tiny little bits of nuggets of information to help you out. Another thing I did, which is going to help with the consistency, is that since my booth, as you guys have seen, is the walk-in closet, walk-in studios, it's still in use. I still have to go in and grab clothes. My fiance has to go in and grab clothes. There's shoes and all that stuff in there, so things get moved a lot. And one of the things with audiobooks is that you're not going to complete it in one sitting. It'll take days or weeks to complete. And if you put the microphone in a different spot than when you recorded on the second day or first day, or whatever the case might be, you run the risk of having just a slightly different sound from recording to recording. So I quite literally grabbed my phone and I took pictures of my setup and put markers on the floor to tell me exactly where my chair was, to tell me exactly where the microphone was, to tell me exactly where the clothes was, so that when I go back to continue recording, I'll set up everything exactly the way it was, and hopefully maintain some of that consistency. I currently don't have the luxury of having a booth that is untouched in between sessions. This is a very busy space that I'm recording in, so it's always being moved. So maybe that's a tip that'll help you out as well. But that's really what I wanted to share for this video. Again, as I started with, the comments that you guys are leaving, the positive, encouraging comments that you're leaving, it just touched me in a way that I really can't express. The comments are always fun. I've mentioned that, and I hope you guys continue to comment. But the fact that you've been commenting with some very encouraging things is really, really touching. I know I initially started this channel to leave a trail behind of what it's like to get started in this business and hopefully help people along the way. But as people have expressed the fact that it has helped them, it's affected me in a way that I didn't anticipate. And I really, really appreciate that. And then, of course, the good news about landing my first audiobook. I had actually turned off the mic for a little over a week. I hadn't touched it for anything at all. The stress of finding a job was really getting to me. The stress of not being able to audition yet with some of the pay-to-play sites was getting to me. And landing this audiobook was really, really great. So thank you very much to you that reached out to me through the channel to give me this opportunity, because it's been a godsend. It's been a really great kicker to the motivation and the progress that I'm trying to have with this channel and the career. So I can't thank you enough for that. And I'll keep you guys posted on how the audiobook goes in the future. But for those that might be interested in audiobooks, try out acx.com. It is a really fantastic site, from what I hear, on how to get started or getting work with audiobooks. They have some requirements on your noise floor and things like that. They kind of require good equipment and good audio quality, but you can find some decent work there, and the type of work that'll give you a ton of practice as well. So that's it for today. Thanks very much. I hope that information was valuable. If you did find it valuable, like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, stick around for future videos. I'm going to try and put together some playlists from my past videos so that you guys can watch some of that in bulk and see if that helps you out as well. But I hope to continue seeing you guys in the future, and I hope to keep engaging with you guys through the comments. Thanks again, and we'll talk soon.